The galaxy was a dangerous place, and humanity had learned that lesson the hard way. For decades, we'd been fighting a losing war against the Krell, a monstrous alien species that seemed to exist only to destroy. They were relentless, their ships faster, their weapons deadlier, and their tactics brutal. Earth's colonies had fallen one by one, and humanity was on the brink of extinction. But then we found a way to fight back. The Krell had a weakness. They were drawn to certain energy signatures, like moths to a flame. Using this knowledge, humanity developed a trap, a massive, heavily armed station disguised as a derelict colony. It emitted a signal that mimicked the energy signature the Krell couldn't resist. The plan was simple. Lure them in, activate the station's defenses, and wipe them out in one fell swoop. The station, code-named Erebus, was a marvel of human engineering. It was equipped with enough firepower to take out an entire fleet, and its AI was programmed to wait until the Krell were within range before unleashing hell. The trap was set, and all we could do was wait. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the command deck of the Erebus, her arms crossed as she stared at the holographic display. The station was quiet, its corridors empty, its weapons primed and ready. The Krell were coming, she could feel it in her bones. The sensors had picked up their approach hours ago, and now they were closing in fast. "Captain," her first officer, Lieutenant Marcus Hale, said, breaking the silence. "The Krell fleet is entering the system. They'll be within range in 10 minutes. Elena nodded, her jaw tight. "Sound the alarm. All hands to battle stations." The station came alive with the blare of alarms and the hum of machinery. The crew, a skeleton team of volunteers, moved with practiced efficiency, preparing for the fight of their lives. Elena clenched her fists, her heart pounding in her chest. This was it. The moment humanity had been waiting for. But as the Krell fleet drew closer, something unexpected happened. The sensors picked up a smaller signal, a single ship separate from the Krell fleet. It was tiny, barely more than a blip on the radar, but it was heading straight for the station. "What the hell is that?" Marcus asked, frowning at the display. Elena leaned in, her eyes narrowing. "I don't know. But it's not Krell. Scan it." The AI analyzed the signal, and a moment later the results appeared on the screen. The ship was damaged, its hull breached, and its power core unstable. But what caught Elena's attention was the life signs. There were multiple beings on board. Aliens, but not Krell. "Captain," Marcus said, his voice tense. "If that ship gets too close, it could trigger the trap prematurely. We need to take it out." Elena hesitated. The mission was clear. Destroy the Krell at all costs. But the thought of killing innocent beings, even aliens, made her stomach churn. She couldn't just let them die. "Hold fire," she ordered. "Hail the ship. Let's see who we're dealing with." The comms officer sent out a signal, and after a tense moment, a response came through. The image that appeared on the screen was unlike anything Elena had ever seen. It was an alien girl, her skin a pale blue, her eyes large and luminous. She looked terrified, her voice trembling as she spoke in a language the AI quickly translated. "Please help us. We're not your enemies. We're prisoners. The Krell, they're coming for us." Elena's heart sank. The Krell were slavers as well as destroyers, and it seemed they'd taken these aliens captive. But there was no time to rescue them, not with the Krell fleet bearing down on the station. "We can't save them," Marcus said, his voice heavy with regret. "If we don't activate the trap now, the Krell will destroy us all." Elena clenched her fists, her mind racing. She couldn't abandon these people, but she couldn't risk the mission either. There had to be another way. "Bring them aboard," she said finally. Quickly. We'll figure something out. The crew sprang into action, launching a shuttle to intercept the alien ship. It was a risky move, but Elena couldn't just let them die. As the shuttle docked with the station, the Krell fleet entered weapons range. "Captain, we're out of time," Marcus said, his voice urgent. "We need to activate the trap." Elena took a deep breath, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. The Krell ships were closing in, their weapons charging. She had to make a choice. "Do it," she said. "Activate the trap." The station's AI sprang to life, its systems humming with power. The Krell fleet was caught completely off guard as the Erebus unleashed its full arsenal. Missiles streaked through the void, energy beams sliced through hulls, and the Krell ships erupted in flames. It was a massacre. But even as the Krell fleet was decimated, Elena's attention was elsewhere. The alien girls, there were 6 of them, had been brought aboard the station. They were huddled together in the docking bay, their eyes wide with fear. Up close, Elena could see how young they were. They couldn't have been more than teenagers. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice gentle. The girl who had spoken earlier stepped forward, her hands trembling. "We are the Lumine," she said. "Our world was destroyed by the Krell. They took us as slaves. We managed to escape, but they were chasing us." Elena's heart ached for them. They were just kids, caught up in a war they didn't start. She knelt down, meeting the girl's eyes. "You're safe now," she said. "We'll protect you." But even as she spoke, the station shuddered violently. The holographic display flickered, showing the remains of the Krell fleet, and one ship that had survived. It was massive, its hull bristling with weapons. And it was heading straight for the Erebus. "Captain, we've got a problem," Marcus said, his voice tight. "That ship's power core is overloading. It's going to blow." Elena's blood ran cold. If that ship exploded, it would take the station with it. There was no time to evacuate, no time to do anything but try to minimize the damage. "Activate the station's shields," she ordered. "Full power to the engines. We need to get as far away from that ship as possible." The crew worked frantically, but it was no use. The Krell ship was too close, its core too unstable. As the countdown to detonation began, Elena turned to the Lumine girls. "Stay close to me," she said. "We're going to make it through this." The station shook violently as the Krell ship exploded, the shockwave ripping through the void. The Erebus's shields held, but just barely. When the dust settled, the station was heavily damaged, its systems failing. But they were alive. Elena let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. The trap had worked, the Krell fleet was destroyed, and humanity had won a major victory. But as she looked at the Lumine girls, she knew the fight wasn't over. The galaxy was still a dangerous place, and there were countless others who needed help. "We'll take you home," she said, her voice firm. "Or wherever you want to go. You're free now." The girl's eyes filled with tears, and the one who had spoken earlier threw her arms around Elena. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for saving us." Elena hugged her back, her heart swelling with determination. Humanity had set a trap for monsters, but what they'd found was something far more precious. Hope. And as long as there were people willing to fight for it, the galaxy would never be completely dark.